Hi, when you've registered for Team Decoder for the first time, after the registration process, you come to the success page. If you click Start Onboarding, our onboarding will start. So there will be this welcome screen, and then you will be guided through a few steps that help you to better understand how the Team Decoder framework works. Don't worry, all the content that you put in here can be altered afterwards. You can add new content afterwards, or you can delete the stuff that you put in here. Just here to explain to you a little bit how the framework works and what kind of content you can fill in here later. We start with the people, so you can put in simple names here of your team members, and you can also already add their email addresses. This will be important at a later step, so these people can access their reports. But this is not necessary. You can also just put in their first names if you want. You can always add more if you want to add more, but don't worry, you can do everything also later. Next step is capabilities. In the framework, this is called skills. So we have some examples here. You can put in educational skills, like there are designers maybe in your team, or there are people who are capable of programming no code, or there are some people who know how to do a newsletter. All these can be skills that your team has and that need to be used so your team fulfills its purpose. Next question is, what roles do you have or do you need? Let's say there might be some standard roles that you already have. So you know you have project managers, so put them in here. You might have a feel-good manager, let's put that in here. But maybe there's also something that you don't have yet, but you want, like a customer success manager. That would be great if you had one of those. So you put them here already. Next one is clear responsibilities. That's something very important within Team Decoder. So very often teams come to a moment where everybody realizes that nobody has taken care of something. So this is what we call domains, creating clear responsibilities so these situations don't occur anymore. Let's say there's a budget Excel file that needs to be updated by the end of the month, and when you define someone being responsible for this, it might not happen anymore, that this is not filled out. Or there's a marketing persona for a target group X that has to be updated after each research result gets in. So you want to define someone who's responsible for updating this every time there's new news. Next question, every team needs a network. In our framework, we call this links. Every team needs to create connections to other entities inside or outside of your team. Let's say your team is badly connected to the CEO's office. So you define one person in your team who will be responsible to create and maintain a great relationship with the CEO, or let's say you need to create a link to the sustainability department so that they already are in the know of what's going on in your team so they can better write that down for the next sustainability report. Or let's say you're in legal trouble at the moment and you need someone in your team handling the lawyer. So this is where all these stakeholders, connections, relationships can be managed. Next one, teamwork makes the team work. So you are a team, but within your team, there might be smaller groups, smaller entities. We call them circles. You might call them departments or task forces or work groups, whatever it is. So this can be as big entities as marketing. This can be task forces and new ideas like an AI task force, or this can be whatever, a team event, planning committee that meets regularly. Committee to plan the next festival. Last but not least, projects. Every team has projects. So projects in Team Decoder are either real projects. Let's say there's a huge campaign that needs to be managed, but it can also be smaller entities of the circles. Let's say marketing is a circle, so we can implement social media as a project underneath marketing to organize everything social media. So next step, that's it. If you click go to dashboard, you come to the dashboard, and the dashboard looks like this. This is the 7 lists in our framework. In yellow, you have the people on the left. In blue, you have all the different kinds of roles, the different things that the team needs to do in order to fulfill its purpose. And on the right-hand side, in green, you have combinations of the blue ones, the so-called circles and projects. And the content you can see here is the stuff that you've entered during the onboarding process. Like this, you can now better understand what these individual lists are for. What you can do now is a few things. You can click on each of those items. Let's say here the role feel-good manager, and you can enter more details like a purpose, tasks, or objectives. And the other thing is that you can click on this focus mode icon here in a person, and then the other lists change, and you can, through drag and drop, create profiles for these people and assign the blue items to the person. You can do the same thing with a different person to create their profiles, and you exit focus mode like this. Next thing is you do the same thing for circles and project, works the same way. There's a focus mode icon that you click, and then you put all the items in here that you need in these individual groups to create those circles. And then you go through that process and you exit it like this. There's lots of more features to discover, but let's be this the first step. You enter your first content in the onboarding process, then you come here, then you add details in the blue cards, then you go into focus mode for the people, then into focus mode for circles and projects, and then you go from there. We wish you all the best. Please get in touch if you need more help. Sweet teams are made of this. See you soon.